It's August 11th, 2019, and this is week 2 of my Noom weight loss program. So it's been a pretty good 2 weeks so far. The weight loss continues. Let's look at the stats. My current weight is 256.2 pounds. That makes a 1 week loss of 2 pounds exactly. And that gives me an overall weight loss from start of the program, roughly 2 weeks, of 8.2 pounds. That's pretty good. By comparison, I'll mention that in Medifast in week 2, total loss was about 16 pounds. So that's about half as much. Lost half as much as I did with Medifast, but I'm enjoying the food better. I've got more variety. I don't feel as hungry. I don't feel the need to cheat. So it's got pluses and minuses. Let's see what happens over the long term. And also remember, with the Medifast program, I had more weight to lose. I was about 25 pounds heavier when I started out. Maybe that has a little bit of influence to it. I had 2 surprises this week, one bad and one good. And let's bring up the chart and I'll show you. So the first surprise, you can see that I started off the week by gaining 1.5 pounds. And that day, that was a Monday morning, I didn't do any exercising. The day before, I kept my calories consumed under allotment that I had. I didn't do much. I stayed around the apartment. So not quite sure why I gained a pound or something more, but maybe it's just the body adjusting. Also, just a note on that Monday, it was a little bit of a tough day. This was after the weigh-in. I felt a little bit hungrier than normal. So after a week, if you start to feel the effects of the diet, don't be surprised. The second surprise was a pleasant surprise. And today, after I weighed in, I lost over 1 pound. But the thing is, just like I was on Monday, except for the exercise, I kind of stayed around the apartment. I didn't do much walking yesterday. I did, one thing to note, and hopefully this doesn't gross people out too much, but just physical. I did have some watery diarrhea on Saturday, and I'm contributing this to the program overall. I remember also that happening with Medifast when I first started. So, maybe that's what helped me drop a full pound from yesterday to today. But anyway, you can see the chart there. The first week of losing 6.2 pounds, second week losing 2 pounds, and that's 8.2 pounds overall. My guess is that I will continue to lose about 1.5 pounds every week by just counting calories. The other good news is I feel that my clothes are feeling a little bit looser. I do know that the notches in my watch, I've been able to notch 1 notch tighter on my watch, so that's good. So I'm starting to feel the effects already in just 2 weeks' time. I'm feeling healthier overall. I feel things are starting to shrink a little bit. It's probably not noticeable to people, but it is noticeable to me. Maybe it's psychological, I don't know. That's really about it for the weight loss. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Noom app and the way this works, and some of the things I'm not quite happy with, and some things that I'm happy with. But let me talk about some of the maybe 4 or 5 categories. First of all, the coaching and the daily blurbs. I can go without those. I'm finding them so far, and I'm open to changing my mind as the program goes along. And so far, the advice from the coach, I could take it or leave it. She's not providing me much interactive feedback. Just that, hey, good job. Hey, what's your goal? And how do you feel about those goals? And I don't feel anything about those goals. If I were to lose some weight, that's when I feel excited about the goals. But those goals are goals. I know I've done this before. They're going to take some time to get to that prime weight that I want to be at. So the coach, again, maybe it's for the millennials. Maybe they need this daily support and the chatting on it. But I'm just finding it not helpful to me. Matter of fact, I asked a few things to the coach. I got some standard things back. I'd rather the coach come in and say, hey, you lost a whole pound yesterday. That's fantastic. Keep it up. Rather than kind of drip feed me the stuff of what the blurbs are really kind of saying. So anyway, and the blurbs, they try to be cute by, using symbols for blanking out curse words. I haven't lost any blanking weight, and using these acronyms and stuff. Give me a break. I'm not a kid. Um, Maybe that's good for the millennials, but I'm. It's just not for me, and I can take or leave it. I did like some. I do find nuggets once in a while. I go, that's pretty good. I like that fact about foods, or how I can change these type of foods, or the red, yellow, green types of foods. Those are good. I found myself eating more green foods last week when I had the opportunity at the company cafeteria. Um, but that's usually about 10% of the time. So I really don't need the blurbs of the coach. And it starts to make me wonder if this is any different than the MyFitnessPal. The logging of the food, um, it doesn't really track nutrients. For example, if I want to see much sodium I have, or any vitamin A, B2, 3, I don't see any of that. And I also find it harder to track, to go back and see what you've actually logged in the same day on foods. You have to go to that time, breakfast, click in, then click back out, then see the breakfast snack, etc. Again, I didn't see anything that talked about having 6 meals a day, which is important. Maybe I missed it, but I think they should have explained that in the beginning. So it seems, and also the calories that are popping up when you do the barcode or you type in, I find it's 40% wrong. If I look at the package, etc., doesn't match. So I like the MyFitnessPal app so far better because I can see the full day. It's very upfront. Calories are accurate. They need to really tighten this up. The next part that I'm having a challenge with, well, I won't have it going forward, is tracking exercises. The Noom app will pull in, if you're using an Apple Watch, active calories. Not workouts, but active calories. I think it needs to stop doing this. The reason is as follows. Active calories, according to Apple, is anything quicker than a brisk walk. Well, I'll show you this on the screen. This is where you can see active calories from the health app. And that's when I'm sitting, not when I'm actually taking a brisk or faster walk. So something's going on with the way Apple Watch tracks active calories. So I did contact their technical support. I did contact the coach about this, the Noom coach and the Noom technical support, and I really didn't get an answer. It just seems like, well, that's just the way it is. I'm sorry to disappoint you, was actually the last sentence in the technical guy's response. And I went back to them and said, hey, why don't I just shut that off and they just track calories manually, exercises manually. And they said, well, the technical guy never got back to me. It's been 4 days. The coach came back and said, hey, sounds like a plan. Again, I'm losing. There's no interaction there. What's really different here? What kind of value added are you doing, Noom, when you're just kind of giving me these kind of vague answers? They're not very professional or very intelligent answers to me. I also asked Apple, contacted Apple about this. They gave me the same definition, a brisk walk or faster. They had no reason for why I'm being tracked on active calories by just sitting. They said to recalibrate it. I did recalibrate. It's still the same thing. They said it depends on how heavy you are. I am heavier, I am overweight, but this doesn't make sense. And my heart rate goes down about 50 beats per minute when I'm sitting. It's quite low, actually. I got to be careful of that. So I don't know why I would think that I'm exercising or burning calories, especially when I'm showing 50 beats per minute and I'm not moving. So there's a little problem with the active calories aspect of the Apple Watch and the health app. I would suggest, like I did, turn off access. If you want to know how to do this, write me down in the comments below. It should be pretty simple. You have to go into health app and actually deny access to the active calories. Leave the pedometer or the step trackings on. You want that. And then just manually put in the exercise each day. And you know my pet peeve on this, they only track half the calories that you burn on an exercise. So some things seem to be a disconnect to me. It's not traditional. Maybe it's just me. Maybe health professionals know better than me, but it doesn't add up to me. I'm more of a logical, mathematical person. So bottom line, if Noom is tracking, he's giving you an allotment of calories every day for just living, and it's also giving you some extra calories allotted to you per day by your steps, and active calories from the Apple Watch is also giving you showing you that you're burning calories by just sitting and doing a brisk walk, then it seems to be double counting. So I would turn excess off to active calories. And finally, the other thing that I'm finding a little bit complicated is this whole tracking steps and goals proposition of Noom. Supposedly, if you hit your goal, and it'll boost it up so many steps a day. I think it boosts it up 300 steps if you do more than 500 steps of your goal. If it's below 500 steps and you meet your goal of whatever it is that day, but it's below 500 steps over, you get 150 steps added. And then if you don't match it, it subtracts it or whatever. It's just too complicated. Why? And I only found this out after asking the coach. Don't make it complicated. Make it straightforward and simple. For people like me who want to know how this is all working and how things are adding up and double checking the math, it doesn't make any sense to me. It's overcomplicating things. Whereas MyFitnessPal, you just turn on the tracker. It says you have 10,000 steps to get to, or whatever your steps are per day, and it adds on so many calories per day. It doesn't change your goals. Great. Maybe people like that. I don't. Keep it simple. And last but not least, feedback and questions. There's no open forums for me to ask general questions to that I can find out. I think that might happen sooner or later. It might be another function they give me right before my 2-week trial is up. But with MyFitnessPal, you can go on it for free to forums, ask people questions. Hey, how does this work? What's going on with active calories, etc. And you get people responding there. So overall, I'm feeling good that I'm losing the weight, but I'm not sure if it's due to Noom or just me being conscious of tracking calories and my exercise, which I can easily do with MyFitnessPal. Again, I'm going to continue this program as far as I can tolerate it to see how it works and give you a full review of it. I'm so far a little bit doubtful that this thing is all it's cracked up to be, or anything better than what a MyFitnessPal can do. That's all I have for today. I'll check back in with you a week later. Thanks.